Hey guys, what's going on? Uh, Working on power steering. I guess this will be a conversion. There's the D.I.Y power steering pump, or canned hem. There's saginaw, I don't really know how to pronounce it. That one's made a little bit different. It come off I guess a early or mid to late 80s model Chevrolet. And I'm trying to build a bracket. Instead of building one all the way out, I figured I would try to use the old bracket. That way if somebody wants to follow it or try to do it, they will have something to go by. There's a lot of write-ups and pictures on the forums, but yet to see any videos, so this will either be a success or a fail. So what I've done so far is just cut the bracket. There's the way the bracket originally was. Just cut it down like that, that way I can use that piece. That's why there's smoke all in the garage. So we're going to play around with this. Okay, now I'm pulling the pulley off of the new pump. These are pressed on, so you have to have a presser or a pulley puller. If you don't have one, AutoZone and Advanced Auto, and probably every other big name place has a rental program where you can go and you pay a deposit and they let you borrow the tool. And it's imperative to have one to get a press pulley off. Oh, that's fun. Okay, I'm headed into the shop, and this is like the fourth time this has happened to me. I walk in, go to lay my stuff down over here, then I turn to go to the light switch, and yeah, I draw down on this guy. My dad uses him when we do hazmat training when we teach, mainly to do decontamination of a victim that's unconscious, just because it's dead weight. But yeah, about shot him again. Okay, the inner shaft on the pump is metric, so what I had to do was drill it out and retap it to a standard thread, put a 3/8 inch bolt in it, and now this is kind of like a homemade little press. Just screw that bolt into the shaft and then you tighten that down on the pulley and it presses it on. I'll try to set it up. Make sure that you get pulley on straight. Okay, I got it drilled out with 3/4 inch. As you can see, it goes on about a quarter of the way, and then I'll press the rest. One thing you want to do is make sure that there's no metal anywhere on the mating surfaces, because if there is, you'll get a piece of metal down near where the bearing is or where the seal is, you'll just eat it out. So I take my makeshift press that I made here, put my pulley through it, and we'll screw the bolt down. Maybe if I can find the threads. There we go. Okay. And then what we will do is tighten that down, get it straight where it's even. and then back the camera up so it doesn't get hit. Then just tighten the bolt down. Okay, very big rookie mistake. When I was drilling the pulley, I assumed that the drill press was level, but apparently it's been moved, unbeknownst to me. So when I drilled the hole, it was at an angle, making the hole not straight. So when you put it on, it's wobbly. No really way to fix that at all. Luckily though, I was digging through a parts bin and I found this pulley. Tad bit smaller, same groove. So the bad part is the pulley is aluminum. The good part is the hole is almost perfect. So what I've done is what I did was take a Dremel tool, Dremel out a keyway, and then I put a key in it. The key is metal, so what I can do is go in and weld in through there, weld that key up. Another thing that I'm probably going to do is take a bolt and bolt it into that. So after I get it welded up, come up here, put the set screw in, then I'll take a bolt, 3/8 inch bolt, and bolt it to that. Actually, yes, I will bolt it to that. In all the excitement of the pulley, I was getting ready to leave and realized I forgot to drill the bracket. I made this, just use a piece of cardboard, made sure it was square, made a template, then I went ahead and transferred that onto the bracket. I made the holes, as you can see, a tad bit bigger, about 2 or 3 sizes. That way if it's not completely square, I can adjust it. That mounts onto the front of the block, like so. And then that's what I got so far. Okay, I've tacked the pulley on. Now I'm going to try to do... Oh, wonderful. Look at that. It's about 90% of my thread locker. What I'm going to try to do now is to get this bolt down in there. The weld kind of got in the way, but I'm hoping that I can get by it enough to get this tightened down. Looks like I did. I'm gonna go get a wrench. Okay, put a little light down there. There's the bracket mounted. Looks to be pretty straight. The motor sits like this a little bit, so we shall see. Okay, looks like it's going to fit about like that. What I'm going to have to do is on the inside I've put stuff in, that way I can mark where I need to weld a nut, and then I can put some spacers in the nut to bring it in and out. And once I get it perfectly lined up with the belt, then I can go back and build the other brackets or the other mounting points. Okay, there's the stud mounted. And what I'm going to do is go to the back side and weld it up, and weld it on this side as well. Okay, I've made this bracket here. I took a piece of angle iron, welded a piece of bar stock onto it, cut the bottom half out. What this is going to do, it's going to go on the existing bottom part where the smog pump is, bolt in, sorry for the camera, down there, and then I'm going to drill some holes in the middle of that. That way I can mount it on the back of that. So now it's just got to drill the holes and grind it out so it can be adjustable. Okay, got this awesome bracket built, but the thing about it is the angle at the bottom here covers up where your high pressure line goes. So what I'm going to do is get this angle right here, cut it, and then weld that piece down there. I told you this was going to be a fun little build. Everything keeps going horribly wrong. Okay, got it welded on. The only thing is that bottom left bolt right there, it's going to be kind of difficult to get to, but it's manageable. Once I get it, it's actually extremely solid. It's not going to go anywhere, and it's adjustable. Not much, but it's adjustable. That's another thing that I'm going to have to look at as well, is getting the adjustments out of it. So there's the bracket. The belt that I have on there, or the belt that's on there right now, is not going to work. I'm going to have to get another belt. The good part is I have to get two belts, because one will have to go on to the alternator, the other one's going to have to go to the water pump and to the power steering pump. Okay, I had to cut the piece right there out of the bracket. That way I can get some more adjustment. So now I'll demonstrate the amount of adjustment that's in it. That will be all the way forward, and that will be all the way back. So I got over an inch of adjustment. So that will be real good. Okay, this is a pretty primitive adjuster that I've made. Just taking a piece of all thread, welded two bolts together back there, then welded a washer on the back of this bolt on the bracket. So you just turn the end and adjust it back and forth. It also provides some stability to keep it from flexing left and right. Okay, just a real quick shot of the bracket before I paint it and install it, and what it looks like. I'm going to throw it on real quick. Okay, there's the bracket installed. It's just with one bolt in it, but I mean, it's super solid. It isn't going anywhere, so I'm not going to throw the pump on. Okay, there's the bracket and the pump installed. The good part about having two studs, one on the back and one on the front, as your mounting point, is you can shim either one if it's out of cant. And I'm going to find the belts to go on this. I'm going to run two belts from my crank. Both of them go from the crank to the water pump, and then one will go to the alternator and the other will go to the power steering. The good part about that is if you lose one, you still have your water pump, which is very important. You can run without alternator for a while, and you can run without power steering. But if you do not have your water pump, you're pretty much dead in the water. So I'm going to measure, look online, see if I can find a belt. As you can see, there's just a tad, probably less than a 1/16 of an inch of play in that, which probably, I wouldn't imagine, make much of a difference at all. It might not even be that. I was going to run something from here back to the fender, but now that I got this built, it seems to be really solid. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is the way that the pump's angled to the left. On the Chevrolets, they're kind of angled to the right, so I don't know I guess as long as I got plenty of fluid in it, it'll be fine. So now comes the good task, or the hard task, of finding the belts. So I'm still waiting on another intake gasket. I bought one of the real thick graphite ones that should be in within the next, or this week. So I gotta pull every bit of that, the carb, the intake exhaust manifold back off and redo the gasket. Fun. But seems like a pretty good success. Gonna pull this off and sand the bracket down, and then just hit it with some paint, and then measure for belts. Okay, well, believe it or not, I have belts for both of them. Kind of weird. Down in the deuce-and-a-half, I don't even know where the belts came from. They've been in the back of my deuce-and-a-half. It's incognito. You can barely see it back there. But it's been back. They've been in the back of the belts the belts have been in the back of it ever since I got it. So kind of weird. But found two. Had a whole bunch of them. Found two that fit. Just gonna tighten this up, plumb it in, throw some fluid in it, and see if she works. Okay, it's the moment of truth. I've put fluid in it, bumped it over to get the fluid level right, and I'm going to start it and see if it turns the wheels. That is so much better. Turns perfectly. Oops, sorry. A couple of things I'm going to have to just do is I had to get somebody down here and move it. That way I can look and see if there's any leaks. It doesn't appear to be any, but you can really never tell because there's much oil's splattered all around. But I think I need a smaller belt for that, for the pump, and just beef it up, pull it off, paint it, the bracket, and it should be it. I have to pull it off anyways because I gotta change the intake exhaust manifold gasket again. But looks good. So I guess that's how you do a conversion of the saginaw or whatever they're called pumps, power steering pump. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope this helps somebody out. As always, thanks for watching.